Alright, all you listeners to the madness, welcome back to Under the Radar. And the maestro is wondering what sort of metal rank did we upgrade to since we hit well over 230 episodes. But since our scientist is still out on report from hurricanes and what have you, we still haven't found a proper metal to represent us for this said milestone that we have. We know in 240 we will have gold, but in between then, it's still a little bit of a fog here. Lead? Is lead good enough, maestro? Nah, not lead. Alright, well, how about, oh wait, I think we already did lithium. I'm not too entirely sure. But either way, folks, as we tried to figure out what sort of cool metal is gonna represent this show before we head to the next milestone of gold, I think it's time for us to take out our bronze scissors to cut out some very interesting newspaper clippings for another edition of yesterday's news. And in our first yesterday's news story, and in sad news in the world of acting, actor known as Brian Tarantina unfortunately died as of this past weekend at the age of 60 years old. And this guy, for anybody who don't know him, has been a part of several hit movies over the past several years, including one movie that I loved a lot along the lines of Carlito's Way, Summer of Sand, Jacob's Ladder, Born on the 4th of July, and even being a part of another cool movie that I remembered as a little kid along the lines of Critical Condition. And the only reason I know about that movie is because my dad was a big fan of Richard Pryor as a kid, so yeah, really did love watching that movie. And we here at Under the Radar would like to say on behalf of Brian Tarantina, may your work live on forever, and may you forever rest in peace. And according to the maestro, he was also a part of Gilmore Girls as well, so just in case we don't forget about it, he was a part of that show too. And in other news, for you fans out there of not only Hocus Pocus, but the future of Hocus Pocus 2, we have officially got some form of news of will there or won't there be a sequel for the said movie, because it's been announced that not only Bette Midler, Kathy Jamie, and Sarah Jessica Parker has all said yes to the sequel of this movie, but then would say, now we wait. And I, for one, who was a big fan of Hocus Pocus when watching this movie as a little kid in my uncle's office many moons ago, would definitely love to see a sequel, but at the same time, in a modern time, how in the world would that work? Especially seeing the fact that since the original version of this movie came out in 1993, and this movie will be about 27 to 28 years old, depending on when they will finally get this sequel greenlit. Yeah, I hopefully would see some flying cars involved in the movie, with them having an update of how in the world did they come back from their tomb after well over 28 years. Be very interesting to see. And if you guys want to check out a very cool picture of all three witches for Halloween this past year on Instagram, you can head on over to the Instagram page of one person that I almost said Twitter for, only known as Sarah Jessica Parker, to check it out for yourselves. It looks pretty good too. And in other news, for you fans out there of the Deftones and currently rocking out to the Dia de los Deftones Festival, I have some good news for you. Cause it's been announced by Chino himself that there will be an album as of next year for 2020 for the Deftones. And in the said interview, he would say the following: it'll definitely be out by next year. I'm hoping that it'll be earlier on in the year, but I feel like once I give a definitive answer or speculate exactly when, I feel like we'll be held to it. So I kind of want to continue on. Of course, it'll be out by next year, hopefully earlier than later. Our biggest thing is making sure that it sounds good. We'll be performing it once it's out for the next 2 or 3 years. So we want to be sure that it's the best that it can be and want everyone to be happy, including ourselves. And in my opinion, with the fact that I have just about every single Deftone album known to man and always use those albums as a form of creativity to do not only houses in The Sims or even come up with cool ideas for shows like this, I say it'll definitely be worth the wait no matter what date it comes out for next year. So take your time, Chino, and we know that you will put on something that will definitely be remembered for the longest amount of time. And for anybody who's wondering out there, this will be the first album they will be able to release since their 2016 album known as Gore, which had the flamingos on the front, which I thought was pretty cool too. And if you guys want any further information on the album that will be coming out as of next year, that we will try to keep you up to date on, or get tickets to their next big performance that will take place at the Rock am Ring or the Rock am Park Festivals that will be taking place as of June 5th through the 7th in Germany as of next year, you can head on over to the consequencesofsound.net page, only known as consequencesofsound.net, to check it out for yourselves. And I guess with that said, folks, for this week wraps it up for another edition of Yesterday's News. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back into the music, and when we return, we'll be back with more madness as Under the Radar rolls on right after this. So don't go watching those infomercials just yet, folks, and stay tuned.